said, through the ages, without sacrifice, there can be no victory.
We going to battle! Has everybody got that?
Two species at war.
And nobody gets in between us. Everybody got that?
One metal.
Like this, you get bigger. The moment's never too big for us. We bigger than the moment. We're gonna excel in this moment. I know you are.
We're floating in space.
100 billion trillion planets in the cosmos. And now, two worlds colliding. Only one survives.
Throws this one up for grabs, intercepted, down around the 13-yard line, Trey White. Elling's got him open. A walk-in touchdown. Chark is back. Touchdown, Tigers!
One team, one heartbeat.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Tigers Roar. I'm Tommy Krysan along with Jordy Hultberg as we try to get folks ready for the Citrus Bowl, among other things. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Happy belated Christmas. Happy early New Year. I'm good. Thank you. Good to be here. And, yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. They only ate 4,000 of them. Is
that what the number was?
As the entourage of LSU hit Buffalo Wild Wings in Orlando.
4,000 wings went down. That's a lot of chickens. What, 2,000 chickens, huh?
That's a lot of wings.
See, that Holy Cross mass pretty good. You got to watch
good.
it. Hey, Jordy, I think back in August, Citrus Bowl might not have been real warm and fuzzy to Tiger fans, but it is what it is, and we show you the hype that LSU put together, and it's a couple of storylines. The first permanent game by Ed Orgeron as head coach. The Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson of the Louisville Cardinals. My first thought for you is that, we got Ed Orgeron, permanent coach. Interim coach, permanent coach, there's a difference.
Big difference.
I don't care, what people want to say, well, he was the head. No, there's a difference both mentally and the sign on the door. Your thoughts on that interim versus head coach thing?
That means players are now realizing that if they want to get a jump start on next season, they have to put a favorable impression on their head coach in this bowl game. So that's very significant as compared to an interim when you don't know. So glad all that's behind. Now it's full steam ahead. We saw a little vision of what LSU football's offense is going to look like from the Pinstripe Bowl as Matt Canada and Pitt lost to Northwestern, but they moved the ball down the field, and he's got some nuances that are pretty good. I think it's going to be fun.
Speaking of nuances, defensive coordinator Dave Aranda says going to see some different things than what you saw in the 11-game regular season that they put in the bowl. They don't have Kendall Beckwith, obviously, so they got some different guys going out there. And there's going to be a little bit of a different look, almost a 3-3-5 look. We hear 3-4, we hear 4-3. Almost a 3-3-5 look is what I'm being told you can look for. So you might want to see a few things, or you will see a few things differently from Dave Aranda and on the defensive side. The defense was brilliant all year. Not in the second half against A&M, and that's kind of sticking in the craw of Aranda. He's on record of talking about that.
I equate it to basketball. You realize you're getting ready to take on a great player, so you devise that box in one or that triangle in two, and that's basically what this defense is all about, is trying to contain Lamar Jackson, keep him in the pocket, have enough speed on the field where they can go and gang tackle and go from there. So, their ranking suffered significantly after what happened against A&M with the fewer touchdowns.
The defensive ranking.
Defensive ranking really suffered because of that. But It's a great opportunity. We saw they're playing a game. Miami's playing West Virginia on the same field that they will be playing on. So there's no more bad turf. It's going to be no excuses. 80 degrees. Going to be beautiful weather, and it's the start of a triple header on New Year's Eve that you can't beat.
You were there with the ugly turf game against Penn State.
Ruined some shoes.
You were on many a sideline. How bad was it? Was it the worst you've ever seen a college football game on?
Ever.
Not even close.
Ever. It was worse than me.
The game should have not been played. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah. It was worse than me on the golf course with some of the divots that I make. It was really bad. But look, it is what it is. That's no excuse anymore. But back to your point, interim tag lifted, permanent head coach in makes a huge difference.
And here's another thing, too. Ed Orgeron, first game as the permanent head coach. For lack of a better word, he wants to make a statement. He wants the rest of the folks in the SEC and the people on LSU's schedule coming up that he's the head coach. Does he have a fake field goal or a fake punt? Does he go for it on fourth down from his own 38-yard line? All them little things. Now people, they had a folder on Ed Orgeron. Now they got to add to it because the opponents on LSU's schedule next year have to go against an Ed Orgeron coach team.
You're right. It's very important for a lot of things. Dave Aranda wants to make sure people realize I'm worth 1.85 average over 3 years. Danny Etling, very significant game for him to get him to further entrench himself as the starting quarterback going into next year's camp. A lot of people out there. The only person that's safe is Darius Geis. I mean, he's got that locked up. After that, show me.
It's wide open. Matt Canada and Ed Orgeron have said spring practice is open.
Yep.
A couple of the recruits have said that Canada has told them, whoever's the best guy, that's who's going to play. And that should be the rule of thumb all the time. Right. But that's going to be the rule of thumb with this quote-unquote new regime at LSU.
No offense to Pitt, but I'm watching their players on the field, and it is so different with the level of athletes that Matt Canada is about to be in charge of, just like Dave Aranda. It's significant.
It's a fact. LSU's been hanging on as about a 3-point lead for many weeks now, 3-point favorite, I should say. 7th time in school history they're going against a reigning Heisman Trophy winner.
Right.
So, there's a few storylines here, and it's going to kick off at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Can you name those Heisman Trophy winners?
Oh, man, I saw the list. It goes back to John Cappelletti,
Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow twice, Mark Ingram,
and now Lamar Jackson. Who did I leave out?
That's it, because you got Tebow twice.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Very good.
Hey, there you go. So you see that Cappelletti, that was way back in the early 70s.
Yeah, Penn Stater.
Running back, yeah. So, all right, so we got a lot of stuff. Let me tell you what's coming up on the program tonight. We're going to hear from Ed Orgeron's mother, a brief interview. There was a really nice piece on the internet the other night about her and raising Ed. And it was a
Does
really
she talk
cool
like
story.
him? Does she have that accent?
We're going to find out. We're going to have some LSU football player interviews. We got some New Orleans Saints stuff for you. We've got a preview of the Sugar Bowl. You and I being New Orleanians, Sugar Bowl is a huge event on the annual calendar.
Love it.
Auburn, Oklahoma, they played back in the early 70s in the Sugar Bowl back in Tulane Stadium.
LSU should be playing in that game.
We got a little hype video for you on that, and we got a preview of the college football playoff.
I'm really disappointing in the staff here. I know that Hooters is one of the major contributors and sponsors. It's the Wild Wing. We should have had a wing eating contest in honor of.
Well, we can work on that. That's not a problem. Also,
never turn down a wing ever.
You like wings?
Oh,
I'm a wing fan too.
And ask Orgeron, how many did you eat? A lot.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
All right. Also on the program tonight, Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, going to give us a recruiting update.
Under Armour, Orlando's the place to be.
Well,
they got the Citrus Bowl, and then the next day they got the Under Armour All-American game. 8 LSU commitments are playing in that game, and there's a whole bunch of others that they're still recruiting that they hope will come into the fold.
So we're going to have Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. A little bit later on, Ronnie Rance, Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV. Don't forget, Thursday morning, this program will be on YouTube. You can watch it at your convenience. The original airing each and every week. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. On the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. WHNO TV Channel 20 out of New Orleans on Fridays at 5 p.m. The ETEL cable system in Ascension Parish, parts of Livingston Parish, 2 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. So get ready. We got it coming right at you. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan. We'll be back with more right after this pause on Tigers Roar. Stay with us.
Here at Rejuve Medical, we strive to accomplish a more youthful you. We specialize in the most advanced techniques of testosterone replacement therapy in men, bioidentical hormone replacement in women, IV therapy, and nutritional support along with the state-of-the-art cosmetics procedures. Experience a network of trainers and health coaches offering diet and nutritional plans tailored to you. Call us today to schedule your free consultation to discuss your individual needs and goals. Look like you live younger.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Perkins Road Veterinary Hospital is a full-service veterinary hospital committed to your pet's health. We offer advanced diagnostic and therapeutic medical services, laser surgery, dog and cat diets, and treats, along with stress-free boarding. Dr. Ritchie sees patients for routine checkups to keep your loved ones happy, also advanced medical and surgical cases. We have separate condos for cat boarding and large climate-controlled canine boarding. Our boarding dogs get to have fun in a very large play yard several times a day. Laser therapy is a service that we offer to heal wounds and help our patients that suffer from chronic pain. Laser therapy is a wonderful adjunct treatment for neurologic and arthritic pain with no side effects. Your pets are family members and deserve the best and highest quality of care. Dr. Ritchie and his staff greatly respect the human-animal bond and are committed to exceeding your expectations. Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. Beautiful views of Cypress Lake. 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments are available. Stop by and see Cypress Lake Apartments. Give them a call at 225-293-6789 or visit online, cypresslake-apartments.net. We continue with Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan with you. Jordy, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I'll just start off by saying the best prime rib in the world, period.
It was good. I told you.
Whoo, man, that horseradish sauce. Oh, my.
Still got some left over?
I have some left over. Not a lot, but I have some left over. Look. Tell us, folks, about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood.
At 12451 Old Jefferson Highway, where Segan, Sherwood Forest, Airline Highway intersect. There's Parkview Baptist School and Church. You can find out everything they have to offer at Tremontis.com. Tremontis.com. You see the number, 751-7665. New Year's is coming up. They still have prime rib. They still have turkeys available. They still have ham. Wait till you taste one of their rotisserie hams and all the fixings and trimmings that go along with it. So crawfish season coming up. In fact, may have a little bit coming in this weekend. So call them, 751-7665. If you want a sack, if you want them to boil them for you, give them a call. If you think they do the prime rib and the turkey's good, which they do great, wait till you taste their crawfish. Absolutely top shelf.
No question. And as I mentioned, prime rib, one of my favorite things to eat.
Is that going to become a tradition for you now?
It's got to, absolutely. And I'm not just going to wait till Christmas. I mean, this has got to happen a couple of times a year. I mean,
Alan Traylor has a discernible taste bud. It's not easy to please, but he came and he's producing the show. He's in the truck working hard. Said it's the best he's ever had. So, and that says an awful lot to me.
It was incredible. Tremontis.com. Do check it out. And like you said, crawfish season right around the corner. Yeah. LSU football players. Players treat bowl games different, but I think this is even more different with the interim tag going. It's head coach. Dave Aranda's made some changes. There's going to be a special teams that's probably gotten massaged a little bit.
I want to see what Bobby April's done.
Steve Ensminger's still going to call some plays, but we got some LSU football players' comments for you, talking about finishing up the season, getting ready for the bowl game, and kind of the new regime. First time they've changed coaches at LSU in 12 years.
Yep.
So, I mean, it doesn't happen every day.
Nope.
Here are some of the comments from the LSU football players.
I think Coach Ensberger did a great job for us to start, and he's really taught me a lot, and I've continued to learn underneath him, and hopefully he's sticking around and all that stuff, and it'll be good for us. I like Coach Canada. I met him briefly, and he recruited me in high school to Wisconsin, and they might have had me, but Bielema ended up leaving, and Coach Canada kind of went to NC State, and so that just kind of then all of a sudden I was at Purdue, so it'll be fun to kind of work with Coach Canada. It's funny how things play out. If I would have gone there, maybe I wouldn't have been coached by him. So it'll be a fun thing for me to get to know him better and see what it would have been like.
What's this bowl season like now that things have really settled down? Coach O's your coach, kind of moving forward, getting ready to just play a game for really the first time this year. What has that been like?
It's been fun. It's a lot more relaxing. I mean, besides for the finance class I'm taking right now, but it's actually a pretty good, a good feeling to know who your coach is and kind of be able to start working towards the future and what we want to be doing. And I think this would be a good momentum builder game for us if we continue to do what we've been doing and execute our game plan.
What did you think about Brandon saying he's coming back? Going to be open competition, looks like. A lot of new things.
Yeah, that's good. I think that'll be a good thing to have as many talented quarterbacks as we can in the quarterback room, because obviously that's the best thing for the team. So you always want what's best for the team, and I think that's the best thing for us for next year.
Prepared for
Number 20 LSU will take on 13th ranked Louisville in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida on December 31st at 11 a.m. Etling took over the LSU starting quarterback job in September, going 7-3 as a starter. Etling has thrown for almost 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions this season. The former Terre Haute South Brave has always wanted to play in a bowl game and is thrilled to have this opportunity.
First bowl game, first time, because I didn't really get to go to one last year because I was ineligible. So this will be a fun experience for myself, and I'm glad to be at LSU for it. So it's been a up and down but fun year for myself as well.
Like, he's part of the team. I came in with him. I support everything he does 100%. He's making a personal decision for himself, and I feel like he knows what's best for himself. And at the end of the day, we support him, and we know how much he cares about us, and we know how much we care about him. So it's one of those things that we're not worried about really much. We just worried about what we have right now, and we know that he's not with us, so we know we got to prepare without him and prepare to be Louisville without him. So just one of them things that we really can't worry about. No, not necessarily. That's one of those things that I just take day by day. I know the main objective is to beat Louisville, and we got a bowl game left. And I worry about my future after that. And each and every day I go out there and practice. I practice hard, and don't worry about anything that's coming. I just worry about this team and what the one goal we still have left.
What did you make of that report that said that you were going to enter the NFL draft?
Right. I just didn't know where it came from, because I didn't say that, and I didn't tell anyone that was true, or I didn't tell anyone that I was going to enter the draft. I said that I hadn't made my decision yet, and just when it came out, I was surprised, because I was really wondering where it came from, and I really didn't have a voice in that, and I really couldn't get out there and say what I wanted to say, but I didn't know where it came from, and it's not true. chance. So
You
what's
got a
it that
chance
you didn't
now.
want to say? It would say that's not true, and you know, I'm undecided, and that report was not true.
Does
I think it's just up to the player, you know, whatever's best for his situation. You can't, you know, really attest to what one player's feeling or, you know, what his situation is, because everybody's different. Everybody has their family situations, and, you know, you just got to respect what they want to do. And, you know, we all respect Leonard's decision. You know, we all, you know, wish him the best.
You think he gave everything he had to LSU?
For sure. You know, I know Ole Miss game, he wasn't feeling 100%. He still went out there and broke every record we had, and, you know, it's just stuff like that. You got to remember it and say that that guy fought for LSU.
What are your impressions?
It'd be interesting to see the mindset of the players. That's always one of the things about bowl games.
Sure.
It's a different thing and all that. But I just think LSU is going to be ready to go. I think Ed Orgeron going to have them ready to go. And some of the guys on the team that've been around, I think they're going to make sure everybody's ready to go. And they want to make a statement.
You never know. You never know till they get out there and play. But if I had to guess from a motivational standpoint, LSU would have the advantage over Louisville. Louisville, I mean, they were right there hoping to get into the Final Four of college football, only to see them lose their final 2 games. So they're on a downhill slope. And, you know, LSU's catapulted. They got the guy they wanted as their coach in Orgeron. They got Aranda signed up to a new contract. Corey Raymond signed up. All these things are happening, and that behooves LSU and favors them as far as a motivational standpoint is concerned.
You know, now I saw a very nice article written a little bit earlier online, earlier in the week, about Ed Orgeron, his mother, talking about, you know, when he was playing ball across the street. They talked to Bobby Abad. It was actually a distant cousin and ended up being a teammate at Northwestern State. It was a really, really, really good piece. Lots of quotes from Coco Orgeron, which would be Ed Orgeron's mother. We got just a little bit of it for you, and we want to share that with you now. Then when we come back, I'll talk a little more about the article that was written.
7:30 in the morning, and around 7:30, right before he, I guess it was right after he said, "Mom, you're talking to the head coach of LSU," and they all bad. If Daddy'd be home. You know, that was the emotion at the moment. He would have been so proud of him. But was I proud? You better believe it. The energy that he has, the wanting, he knows what it is to be a winner. He's been there, he has the rings to prove it. He knows that feeling, and he wants the kids to know that feeling. That's a great feeling.
Jordy, we've all had time now to let head coach Ed Orgeron digest. The dust has settled. He's working hard. The staff's recruiting and getting ready for the Citrus Bowl. But let's take a step back. Your thoughts now that Ed Orgeron's the head football coach at LSU after 11 and a half, 12 years of Les Miles.
Well, it just goes to show you it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we all make mistakes. We all live. We all learn. And you continue to work hard, and you keep notes, and you keep track of things. And then the dominoes have to fall your way, and they certainly fell that way for Ed Orgeron. It just so happened, when Les Miles was let go, he was the only coach on the squad that had an interim history on his side. And he utilized, I mean, he played it, and I don't mean this in a negative way, he played it like a string fiddle. He really did. And I've said this before in this program. One, he got the fan base behind him because he started talking and he started enunciating and got fired up. Number two, he ingratiated the media, opened up practices, let them go and watch, which had never been done before under Les Miles. And number three, he got the players on his side. He said, we're going to shorten practice. We're not going to wear you out. We're going to play hard. We're going to play fast. We're going to play quick. We're going to play short. Get off the field. So all those things. And he had to win. And he Steve Ensminger deserves a heck of a lot of credit for helping him on the offensive side. And then they lose to Alabama. They fought him hard. What got him the job was the bounce-back game against Arkansas. I'm fully convinced about that. As disappointing as the Florida game was, his ability to bounce back and play against Arkansas the way they did and continue to keep the team together. Look, he wasn't the first choice. He wasn't the first choice at all, and that's okay. He's okay with that. A lot of people said you could have waited till now and still have gotten Ed Orgeron. And I believe that's true because he wants to be the head coach at LSU. He would have waited and waited and waited because that's what he wanted to do. So now it's up to him. And look, everybody loves him now. Let's see what happens next season. Because if he starts losing, all those people that pointed the finger saying, I love you, going to have three fingers pointing back saying, get rid of the guy.
Well, and there are a group of people out there who are not happy with the hire. I mean, there are going to be LSU fans that are going to support the program.
Sure.
But there are people that don't have the confidence in him that they may have had in another hire. No hire is a guarantee. Okay?
No such thing.
No, I don't care if you bring anybody in here. There's no guarantee that there's a Western Division title or an SEC title or a national title. And they say, well, look what he did at Ole Miss. That's a horse of a different color.
Light years ago.
There were no players. That was a long time ago. Go back to what you said. We learn from our experiences. We are all products of our experiences. The more experiences, in theory, the better the product. So I think it's good. What did Michael Jordan say? I made all those shots because I missed a lot. Well, he didn't do things. He didn't do well at Ole Miss.
Took him a while.
And he didn't do things right. But he has admittedly said, I learned from it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, he micromanaged.
What's better than that?
We've seen that at LSU where a coach wants his hand in the pot on everything and every decision. You just can't do it. So the new approach is hire really good, outstanding coordinators and let them do their job. You oversee it. You have your thumbprint on it. And then you go out and talk to the media, you talk to the fans, and you go get players. Because when push comes to shove, I don't care what anybody says, the number one priority for any coach in any sport, go get great players. You do that, it covers up for a multitude of sins.
Well, in a little bit, we're going to have Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com join us, and he'll update us on the recruiting. But you hit the obvious nail on the head. It's all about players. It's all about recruiting.
Yeah.
So far on the recruiting trail, in particular since he was named the permanent head coach, how do you think it has fared for LSU?
Well, I don't follow it nearly as closely as Mike is, that we'll get later on. But right now, with 20 commitments, everybody that's in the know that does this for a living says LSU has a top 5, top 6 ranked recruiting class. To think about it, you lose the head coach, the interim coach comes in, you don't lose hardly any players. The ones you do lose that decommit come back and commit to you. So it speaks high. I think that's how he made his name. He's a heck of a recruiter. Can they close out the class? Can they get the linebackers that they need? They lost a top-notch running back, Cam Akers, going to Florida State. They immediately, before the kid announced, they knew. So they go recruit and offer Travis Etienne, a running back here in the state of Louisiana.
From Jennings.
Every person that I talk to on my radio show that deals with recruiting thinks if one or two players that are still out there come LSU's way, LSU could rank in the top 3 in the country. The problem there is, guess who's number 1 again?
Alabama.
Again.
Well, and I'm going to answer the question I asked you. As I sit now and think about it, I think Ed Orgeron is going to be like the CEO kind of coach.
Sure.
I don't think he's going to be hands-on. I don't think he's going to micromanage, a mistake he admittedly made at Ole Miss. I think he's going to let Dave Aranda run the defense. He's going to let Matt Canada run the offense. If Bobby April, isn't he just like an analyst right now, or is he permanent?
Oh, he's just a consultant.
Right. Whoever takes over the special teams, whether that's April involved or not, a good old Chalmette boy.
That's right.
But anyway, I think he's going to let them do the job. Just like when he was the interim coach, he let the position coaches coach their positions and play the players they wanted to play and the rotation they wanted to play and the personnel groups that they wanted to play. He let them do it. Now, I'm sure in their private meetings he voiced his opinion before and after, but that is, I think, a good system.
And I think, look, when LSU had the most success they've had, Bo Pelini was a defensive coordinator. Les Miles never crossed midfield at practice. Bo Pelini said, don't ever come over here and tell me what to do about my defense. And the only way you get Matt Canada, the only way you sign Dave Aranda to a new contract is you give them that autonomy. You give them
and they're being paid well.
And they're getting paid well. And look, the buck stops with them. That's the buck stops with Ed Orgeron when it comes to recruiting and making sure kids are going to class, making sure kids are eligible.
Do the radio show. Do the
radio.
TV show.
Do the TV show. But the offense, that's Canada. The defense, that's Aranda. That's where it works.
Special teams, we'll see what happens.
And this could be the start of a new, it's a copycat world. This could be the start of a new trend. If it works like this, you don't have the super high-paid coach.
This could be a market correction.
It could be. It could be. The question is, if LSU wins big, and we hope they do, then what happens? How much of a bump does Orgeron get?
Then you pay because if you win, you're going to have money flying in. That's been proven over the years. When schools win, the money flies in. Okay,
you would hope so.
But this could be a market correction because you can't keep going $7 million, $8 million, $9 million, $10 million. Where what LSU's doing, I can promise you, ADs around this country are going to keep an eye on how this works in a 2-3 year window.
What does Saban get if he wins it all this year?
$10 million. I bet he says, Bama, I'd like to have $10 million.
I bet you Bama will say, "What you tell us the number."
You tell us the 10, number. So he can be the highest paid coach.
I think it's in his. Football. It was in his. I know it was in Les's contract. If he wins a championship, he gets $1 more than the highest paid coach.
Yeah, well, his agent's different than Saban's, but something tells me Jimmy Sexton will have something like that in there.
Can you imagine that?
Saban will get taken care of. Don't worry about that. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. We talk about, how important recruiting is. He's going to give us the very latest on it. With Jordy Hultberg, I'm Tommy Chrysan. You are watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, all over the world on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com.
Spread the roar all over the world?
Yeah.
Oh,
stay with us.
I better straighten up. Man, this is important.
Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Accord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency. We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-552-8621. 800-552-8621.
We continue with Tigers Roar, reminding you about WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge, home of the Jim Rome Show. The TuneIn app, download it for free. Search WUBR, you got it. Daily local radio lineup, Jordy Hultberg, Buddy Sanji, myself. Fridays, Dave Scandaliato. Saturdays, Carlos Brown, the franchise, and through the night, Louisiana Music Hall of Fame radio. Really good stuff there. Check it out through the night on the TuneIn app. WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge. Jordy, tell the folks about your program in the Lafayette market.
Also every day, Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock on 103.7 FM, The Game. High-powered frequency, good station, and we're doing very well there. Bringing the Tigers to Scarborough country.
To Cajun country.
Yeah.
All right, so don't forget WUBR. There you go. Right now, we're joined by Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. Mike, good evening. How are you?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's not a problem, Mike. A lot of focus on the Citrus Bowl, but probably more important, the recruiting world. Head coach Ed Orgeron, the staff as it exists today. Give us the very latest on recruiting from the LSU perspective.
Well, it's a dead period, but of course, I'm affiliated with Rivals, so we're, the exclusive. We got the access to the field at the Under Armour game, which is Sunday midday, and of course, there's 8 LSU commitments there that are participating, and several others who are non-committed, like Marvin Wilson and Todd Harris, Clavon Chason, that are participating in that football game. So we've been rolling out a lot of content this entire week leading up to that, because it's you're really getting a good look, because I think that not only do you have Tyler Shelvin, the 5-star defensive tackle committed from Notre Dame and Crowley, but LSU's the leader for Marvin Wilson, the number 1 defensive tackle in the country. So, that's an impressive group, and then from there you start to, really figure out how they finish out the rest of the class, and in the worrisome spots like linebacker, defensive end, another wide receiver or 2, tight end, etc.
Mike, Tigers lost out on Cam Akers, arguably one of the top 2-3 running backs in the country. He's going to Florida State. Just before his announcement, LSU announced that they were offering a scholarship to Travis Etienne, a Jennings, Louisiana boy. Tell me about him. And some people think that's maybe a step down, or is it? I don't know.
Well, I saw Travis at the Rivals camp in New Orleans early in the spring.
Uh-huh.
And then again at the LSU camp, he tested, he worked out a half a day. And I always thought that LSU should recruit him as an athlete, period.
Okay.
If you want to give him a shot for a spring or an entire year at running back, let him prove himself. But if not, I think he's got a lot of potential as a defensive back in a special teams coverage guy.
Okay.
Runs a legit 4.4. Extremely fast. Because he's in that veer offense at Jennings, and you watch his footage, and he kind of runs upright a little bit. But I just can't help but wonder what kind of safety he might be.
Okay.
So you can maybe have some debate about him as a running back, but I still think that you're not. You've got a player there. I think there's something there that regardless, somewhere on the field he can play.
Gotcha.
And he's an honor student, a self-starter, hard worker. I don't have a problem with the offer at all.
Okay.
Mike, everybody looks at the linebacker position, and where is LSU going to go, what they're going to do. It's a position of need, one would think, on the depth chart. What's happening in the linebacker world?
Yeah, that continues to be a position that they struggle at. And, now we're getting that Monty Rice might flip to Georgia after committing to LSU. Already had lost Dylan Moses and Chris Allen, Louisiana prospects. And I count, Dylan Moses, a Louisiana kid, even though he went to IMG for his senior year.
Right.
It's just one of those positions where, last year you had Eric Fowler flipped to Texas on National Signing Day. They either undersign or don't sign any. Devin White, of course, was the lone running back in last year's class. And now, as soon as he got on campus, he was moved to linebacker. Just where are the linebackers and how does LSU? It's rare that you have 2 kids like that because the state normally doesn't produce a whole lot of linebackers, and when they do, you can't afford to have them go to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I still think LSU continues to recruit Chris Allen all the way to signing day until you just can't, recruit him anymore. See if you can flip him. But we're seeing a situation here, and look, Cam Akers, while that was a blow last night to LSU, what kind of blow was that to Ole Miss?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
That's a kid there that would be the equivalent of LSU losing Leonard Fournette
Right.
3 years ago.
Right. Understood.
I mean, you just don't. As people are sick about, a Cam Robinson, a Landon Collins, et cetera, that is a. I'm reading some of the comments on the Ole Miss site, and that's a program changer.
Yeah.
A kid like that's a Pied Piper.
Mhm.
You get him signed, and he brings other people with him.
Mike, where do you have LSU currently ranked? I know they have 20 commitments. They can get maybe 4 or 5 more. Where do you have them ranked nationally right now?
Rivals has them 6. I don't know where the other networks have them.
Okay.
They may have them 5 or 4.
Okay.
But LSU's currently 6 with 20 commitments. And look, I think this class is going to finish in the top 10. But on signing day, I keep telling people, if you want to know about the class ranking, certainly you look at DBs and all that, but really to know if you're getting closer to competing with Alabama and competing for SEC championships, you go right past the athlete positions and go straight to linebacker, defensive line, and offensive line, and that's going to tell you if you're getting there.
Do they have enough on the offensive line? We know the linebackers are scarce right now. How do they rank offensive line, defensive line in your book? I know there's still some other players out there to get.
The defensive tackle spot when Marvin Wilson comes on board, and I think they also lead for Phil Mathis from Neville. That position is going to be lights out. You're not going to want to swap that defensive tackle hole with anybody. Defensive end, losing Isaiah Buggs was huge. So we'll see if they can get Chase on. But there's a difference between Chase on and Buggs. Chase on's a light guy, more in the Arden Key realm, but even not as heavy as him or have the size as Key, at least not right now. Whereas Buggs was a 290-pounder that is an absolute beast. Standing next to Devon Godchall in the indoor facility in the summer, he made Godchall look tiny.
Wow.
Mike, who's that one guy out there that if you could wave that magic wand and it'd be a good thing for LSU, who's that one guy out there that they need to try to add to this class?
It'd either be Chris Allen or Isaiah Buggs.
Of course, Chris Allen's a
Buggs
linebacker.
already is a midtermer, and he's gone.
Who?
Buggs?
Isaiah Buggs was.
Yeah, and Allen's from Southern Lab right here in town.
Yeah, look, Dylan Moses, I'll debate the ranking on him. He could very well belong at the running back spot. But I think Chris Allen is probably the bigger blow at linebacker. So if you could get him in the fold, that would be a lot better to go with Patrick Queen. But I still think they need 1 or 2 more beyond that.
Who has the better college?
And that's the deal. You look at the Rivals 250 for the class of 2018, it's nothing but DBs and wide receivers.
Really?
So you're asking yourself right now, we're about to see the running back position for LSU that has not. When was the last time you went to a football season and said running back is a question mark for LSU?
Yeah. Not as long as I've been around.
You would have to go back to the early 90s and the Maxim Finger Fab Five running backs.
Yeah. Who has the better?
I mean, so you're for 2008 after Geis. I mean, heck, even this year, what happens if Geis gets hurt? But anyways, going to 2018, right now your 3 running backs are Nick Brissett, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Travis Etienne.
Okay. Enough said. Who has the better college career, Miles Brennan or Lowell Narcisse?
Two different guys.
That's a good question. I think your highlight tape, obviously, and of course, Narcisse doesn't have anything to show for this year. you just wonder if Narcisse there's a gamer aspect to him that's out of this world.
Okay.
And of course, he's a dual threat guy. But throwing the ball, Brennan is more impressive. So, but with Narcisse, you also have that factor with the multiple knee injuries, and is he genetically predisposed to that?
Right.
But look,
it's a good problem to have, right?
Healthy, I mean, he's fantastic.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, we'll visit with you again next week for some more recruiting update. Who knows what will happen, especially after the Under Armour All-Star game on this coming weekend. Mike, before you get out of here, it's a busy time at TigerBait.com, obviously with the recruiting, but you got the bowl game, you got the basketballs are bouncing. Tell everybody what's happening at TigerBait.com and how can they get involved.
Yeah, go to TigerBait.com. We got we're obviously a subscription site, but more than half of our content right now is free. So go to the website, check it out. Our Tiger Den message board has a lot of great interaction. Our all-day chat that we do day and night every Wednesday, and our coverage of the Under Armour event is second to none. So if you're a big LSU fan, check us out at TigerBait.com.
You're the best, Mike. Best in the business, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks,
buddy.
Tommy.
All right, that's Mike Scarborough. The
Been
guy
around a
knows
long
his
time.
stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Hey, look, there's more than one time I pick up the phone and call Mike and say, Mike, I heard this. Is that correct or not? And then whatever he says, I go with.
Yeah, he's good.
The guy really does it. Go to TigerBait.com. We'll take a break and come back with more of Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. On the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-404-0966. 800-404-0966.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Here at Rejuva-Me Medical, we strive to accomplish a more youthful you. We specialize in the most advanced techniques of testosterone replacement therapy in men, bioidentical hormone replacement in women, IV therapy, and nutritional support along with the state-of-the-art cosmetics procedures. Experience a network of trainers and health coaches offering diet and nutritional plans tailored to you. Call us today to schedule your free consultation to discuss your individual needs and goals. Look like you live younger.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina.
Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment. 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. Beautiful views of Cypress Lake. 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments are available. Stop by and see Cypress Lake Apartments. Give them a call at 225-293-6789 or visit online, cypresslake-apartments.net.
We continue with Tigers Roar. Jordy, of course, LSU plays Saturday against Louisville in the Citrus Bowl.
10 a.m. You like that?
There's another 10 a.m. game, Kentucky and Georgia Tech, in the Tax Slayer Bowl is opposite of LSU. But after that, the college football playoff semifinal games. First up at 2 o'clock Louisiana time, Alabama-Washington from Atlanta. Then coming up at 6 o'clock, close to 6 o'clock, Clemson, Ohio State from out in Arizona. And the two winners will meet on Monday night, the 9th, over in Tampa. But what a day. You get a little LSU for the appetizer, then you got the college football playoffs. My early call, I think Bama wins without much trouble, and I think Clemson wins in a close one, and we get a rematch of last year's national championship game, which Alabama won 45-40.
I think Washington gives Alabama a little bit of trouble early. I think Alabama's going to have to do something in the second half to win it, and I do believe Clemson will beat Ohio State, and we will have a rematch. And don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if that team on the coast wins it all.
I had a guy tell me the other day, he said he thought Washington had a chance. I said, okay, I have one question for you, two questions for you. How much have you seen Washington play? He said, just a little bit. I said, more importantly, have you seen Bama play? Bama did not allow a touchdown in the month of November. Put that in your pipe and smoke it for a minute. And they played LSU, and they played Auburn, and they played Arkansas. They didn't allow a touchdown in the month of November.
There's an awful lot, and these are still kids. And I know they got Saban and all that, but these are still kids, and that albatross is on them because they hear, and everybody expects them to win. And that pressure keeps building. That pressure keeps building. You know what I always say? Pressure does two things. Either bursts that pipe or it produces a diamond. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, earlier in the program, we played the hype video for you for LSU and Louisville, and we'll probably play that again in the second hour at some point. But we now have a hype video to get you ready for the two semifinal games. Alabama, Washington, Ohio State, Clemson. Enjoy.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody walks through the world. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world.
walks into the end zone for the Washington touchdown. Myles Gaskin run, and he's free into the secondary. There goes Myles Gaskin. Nobody will catch him. 65-yard touchdown. Browning throwing end zone. Pettis one-handed.
Returnable by Speedy. Poor down lineman for Alabama. Knight goes backward, chased. Jonathan Allen. He's quick off the ball. Hurts. Nice cut. What a beautiful play. Now he comes to the left and looks for blocking help. And he is in for the touchdown.
Jadar Johnson. That's a big hit for Williams. Look at Johnson. He has such range to be able to close ground and go up and make a play. Tigers have 10 first and go. Goal, but they're trying to lead. Everybody wants to spotted short. After further review, player broke the goal line. Touchdown.
Sitchy came in, flushed out Barrett, but he breaks free and scores.
Everybody wants to the
Keeps it, fires, Noah Brown. Game on the line.
Everybody wants to
Knocked out. Ohio State makes a defensive stand and survives in Mantown in overtime.
The fade in the corner. Touchdown, Jones. Coleman again. Hits the edge, breaks it inside. High stepping. Touchdown. Coleman with Roar. Coleman. Touchdown, Washington. Coleman's second of the day.
With time, intercepted again. This is Minkah Fitzpatrick at the 20. Fitzpatrick, he will score. That's guys that's done it. Allen Woodley. Watson still got it. Flips it over the middle like it wide open and waltzes in. Sean for the end zone. Touchdown. Evans ducked his head, thought about running. Now decides to pick up the head and loft the ball for Hodges. Intercepted on the sidelines. What a play by Tankersley. Scott in motion. They fake it to him. Watson with the keeper. Fighting. Gets shoved into the end zone as the Tigers are getting closer to the playoff spot. Here comes pressure. Evans hit. Intercepted. And the Tigers are going to hang on. Dive for an Ohio State touchdown. Barrett running all the way and scoring. That was easy. Samuel cuts it back.
Everybody wants to the
Cavalier teammates. They extended the end zone.
And the winners will meet Monday night, January 9th, down in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium for all the marbles. And,
Guys, those teams look pretty good.
Well, if you're in the playoff, you've done a lot of something good. You've done a whole lot of something good. They can argue about who should have been there, who not. I don't care. If you have 2 teams, 4 or 8, there'll always be an argument. But these 4, I guess on paper, any of them could win it. And I believe that because even though Bama's a big favorite, if they don't play well, Washington's good enough to beat them. If Bama doesn't play well against, Chattanooga, they're still going to win. But, this is a different deal. And one thing Coach Saban talked about, the first year they went to the playoff 2 years ago and they played Ohio State and they got whooped, he said they had a mindset of a bowl game more than a playoff. Well, now he has corrected that last year and this year. They're approaching this as a playoff game. Yeah, they'll do the bowl stuff. And he also convinced the NCAA to tone down the other activities for the playoff teams at the bowl game instead of all the eating the 4,000 wings. And they're still going to do a few things, but about half of what teams do at the other bowls.
And what do all those teams have in common? They all have really, really good quarterback play. They're all good defensively.
Right.
And they all got players that are going to be playing on Sunday.
Lots of Sunday players will play this Saturday and that Monday night. Yeah. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Ronnie Rance, Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. We'll get Ronnie's thoughts on Ed Orgeron and the upcoming matchup against the Louisville Cardinals. Right after this pause, Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Christ saying, spread the roar. It's Tigers Roar.
It's a mailbag.
Since 1986, the family dental practice of Dr. Farrell Frugier, with state-of-the-art building and technology, and our highly trained staff, have been dedicated to providing care and treatment to our patients of all ages. The experience and advanced training in cosmetic and restorative dentistry, TMJ, and treatment of snoring and sleep apnea allows Dr. Frugier to assist you in achieving the best in dental health. Call us today at 225-292-9700 to schedule your initial evaluation because we know how to make you smile.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal and she makes your dreams come true.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
We continue with Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Christ with you as we get ready to connect with Mr. Ronnie Rance. Ronnie, we're on the air. How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you?
I was a little late pushing the buttons there. You doing okay?
I'm doing well.
He's got the
glad I didn't say anything.
Exactly.
Off color when I
did Santa Claus find you?
He did. Everything was flood related. We got more towels, kitchen products.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Things of need. Things. Back in the day with your baseball team, if you went to Buffalo Wild Wings, could y'all have consumed 4,000 wings like the LSU football team did?
Oh, they did? Wow, that's serious.
That's serious.
Probably would have, Jordy, because when you played for Skip, it's not going to come as a surprise if I say that he was tight with the food budget. So to go anywhere where we could eat all we wanted, that was a big deal. I can remember we went to Jonesboro, Arkansas, God's country, up in Arkansas State to go play them one time, and we found an all-you-could-eat Waffle House.
Oh my gosh!
The chef literally we quit about 3 times during the meal, and we had to talk him back into continuing to cook food.
Let me go back. Let me go back a long way. Back when I was playing, Mike Anderson's used to be on Highland Road, right outside the gates. And on Sundays, he'd have all-you-can-eat crawfish. Well, the basketball players, we taught them how to eat crawfish. They said, y'all can never come back here again. No more. That's over. Anyway.
Yeah, well, athletes, you get used to that training table and stuff, and then all of a sudden, like Ronnie said, if you got a little budget on some trips, then all of a sudden you an all-you-can-eat buffet would be
that's
like
heaven.
Hitting the jackpot.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Ronnie, are you heading down to Orlando?
I am not. We've got a big function at LaBerge for New Year's Eve that I'm going to be helping MC and whatnot, so we're going to be in town for that. But to me, this is one of the better, bowl games. We've had all these crazy matchups with either 6-6 teams or 10-2 teams taking on 6-6 teams. This is somewhat of an evenly matched game, with an offensive guy in Jackson and a Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that can scare and threaten this LSU defense, and then and give LSU some fits if he's on his A game, and then at the same time, their defense has been good enough at times to contain an offense that for LSU has been up and down. So it's going to be one of the better matchups of the bowl season.
I'm with you.
Yeah, Ronnie, there's too many bowls. I mean, it was like 4 on Wednesday this week, 3 on Thursday, 5 on Friday. I mean, I know it's money, it's TV, and a lot of these bowl games do a lot of good things in these communities for charities and whatnot, but I've just had enough of the bowl games. Like you said, these 6-6 teams, they're playing in stadiums that seat 60,000 people, and there's 11,000 people there. It got out of whack somewhere.
I saw a hat company putting on a game today, the New Era Pinstripe, putting on hats, baseball caps.
I just was talking to some people with Sugar Bowl officials just a few minutes ago on the phone, and of course tickets aren't going very briskly down there for, on paper, a good matchup, Auburn and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and Nick Saban, he's right again, that the playoffs have diminished the integrity of the other bowls. And it's either playoff or bust, especially for the bigger programs like the Power 5 conferences, like an Auburn or an Alabama, who have expectations, and they, every big-time team in the SEC or the Big 12 thinks they should be playing in the playoffs. And if they're not, there's this natural, oh, man, well, what bowl are we going to?
Right.
And we're seeing that with LSU. They're not traveling well for this one, Orlando. Ticket sales for the Sugar Bowl are not as brisk. And unfortunately, a great bowl game like the Sugar Bowl, there's no more aura. There's no more, oh, wow, we made the Sugar Bowl. That's
right.
gone.
That's
the
right.
Sugar Bowl is like the Citrus Bowl. It's no different anymore.
And Ronnie, if you back it up to when we were younger and you had the 4 bowls on New Year's Day, the orange, the cotton, the rose, and the sugar, and then you only had another dozen or 14 bowl games, you had people wanting to play on a New Year's Day game, but you didn't feel bad if you ended up in the Liberty Bowl or one of the other ones, the Blue Bonnet Bowl, that comes to my mind, and so then they progressed with all these bowls, and I think you're correct in echoing what Saban said. Now is just a different mindset. I think 2 things are going to happen. You're going to end up with 8 teams in the playoffs, I think. When, I'm not sure, but, in the coming years. Because I can also remember when it was said all over the place, we'll never see a playoff. Well, now we got a 14 playoff. So I think you'll eventually have 8. And then they got to take the 20 most recent bowls. Seniority can rule, and then take those 20 bowls and take 5 of them a year and let them rotate. Where every 4th year that community gets a bowl game. It's just too many, and it's diluted. Like the old saying goes, if the Rolling Stones played at the Centralplex every night, sooner or later they wouldn't have a crowd.
It's true.
And that's what's happened with the bowls. They can't have. They don't have a crowd. Well, they're having to play them at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday, 1 o'clock on Friday. I know. It's just. It's crazy.
Well, I remember. It's a good point, and the point is that you don't give it to them too frequently. There's this clamor to go to it, and people say, well, what? The analogy, whether it be LSU basketball back in the day when like Jordy played, or LSU baseball, all right, 10, 15,000 for a game. Well, if basketball only played 6 home games, or if LSU baseball only played 6 home games, you could play them in Tiger Stadium.
That's right.
That's right. It's the fact that they have so many of them that's why the crowds are smaller. And it's the same with this bowl stuff. And like when you have a 5-7 Mississippi State team taking on Miami of Ohio, and it was 6-6, who their story's great. They start off 0-6 and win 6 in a row to make a bowl game. They're excited. 5-7 get you in a bowl game. I mean, I'm surprised Mississippi State even showed up.
It's really going to become, if it remains on this track, it's going to become so regionalized. They're going to forget about, the second best team in the SEC goes to the Sugar Bowl. It's going to be, we hope it's LSU, because we're going to get people in the stadium, and that's just the way it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, and if you look at the NCAA basketball tournament, they have done their way to regionalize it, keep teams in a certain part of the country where it used to be team from the East Coast, first game was out on the West Coast and vice versa. It still happens a little bit, but not nearly as much as it once did.
You're not going to get, like, I remember going to the Superdome to watch an NCAA regional. And a bunch of us went to go watch because we're basketball fans, and that's a big to-do because it is part of a championship. And we're not trying to not get your input here, Ronnie, but that's different than these bowl games, which are totally irrelevant now.
Well, Ronnie, what do you think what do you expect to see with Louisville and LSU?
Well, I look at Houston and what their defense was able to do to Louisville and sack Jackson 10 times or whatever, and really contain him. And I look at Kentucky able to have a level of success. I just can't imagine LSU not doing the same thing. I mean, this is an LSU defense that shut down Alabama's offense, and nobody else has really done that this year. And I just think they're going to have success against Louisville, being able to contain Jackson. And I think the LSU offense is light years where it was at the beginning of the season. And look how it finished, against Texas A&M. It's putting up those points on the road. So I think you're going to see some new wrinkles. We know that with a month off, you're going to see new wrinkles from both teams, no question. But I just think LSU is going to have better defensive scheme, faster guys off the end, to be able to keep Jackson in the box and contain him.
Ronnie, tell everybody what's happening with Sports Shorts TV and Sports Shorts Radio, and then, of course, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation.
Well, we're excited for the 2017 on Sports Shorts TV. We'll be on Mondays at 9, Tuesdays at 8, myself, Joel Davis, and a revolving chair of guests, and then Sports Shorts Radio right here in Pelican, and then Sports Shorts Radio every Monday night from 6 until 8 p.m. on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. Check us out this Monday night. We'll be at the new Curbside restaurant on Government Street doing a remote there.
There you go. And what's happening at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame up in Natchitoches?
Well, we're really excited. We're going to have this Walk-Ons Glory Days tour coming up. We're coming into 6 Walk-Ons locations throughout Louisiana, dates in January and February. I'll have those dates finalized for you next week. We're going to kick things off down in New Orleans, and we're going to have all these great former Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers and celebrities as well, and we'll want the folks to come out and meet them.
Ronnie, as always, we appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, and we'll visit again soon.
Both of you guys have a great time. Thanks.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll take a break, come back with much more here on Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Christ, and Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. back. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction Hope and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. Beautiful views of Cypress Lake. 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments are available. Stop by and see Cypress Lake Apartments. Give them a call at 225-293-6789 or visit online, cypresslake-apartments.net.
We continue with Tigers Roar here on this Wednesday night. That's the original airing each week. Numerous replays throughout the state, throughout the rest of the week. Appreciate that. I do want to mention, no post-game show Saturday after LSU and Louisville, but next Wednesday night, January 4, Buddy Sanji will be here. We'll kind of do a post-game season wrap, get a recruiting update for you next Wednesday night.
Take phone calls?
It'll be kind of a post-game kind of Tigers Roar, recap the season, update on recruiting, all of that stuff. Next Wednesday, post-game Tigers Roar combo, if you will. Want to tell you about, again, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I'll say it again. The best prime rib in the world, period. I got that for Christmas. Some other folks I know did. It was outstanding. The horseradish sauce, oh my. That's all I can say.
They really do it up right. They're going to have some rotisserie chickens that you can pick up and take home with you. They're going to have ribs, all kind of things for New Year's, hams, turkeys, more prime rib. All you got to do is call that number, 751-7665. Go to their website, tremontis.com. All kind of new things. And crawfish season, believe it or not, is upon us, and they may even, just a little word to the wise, have some crawfish in this weekend. You call that number, get in the queue at 751-7665, and nobody boils them up better than Mike and his staff. They do a tremendous job, and as you said, the turkeys were great at Thanksgiving. The prime rib was unbelievable for Christmas. I'm getting a ham for New Year's, a rotisserie ham. You talk about finger licking good.
And don't forget the sprinkle spice. I'm still putting it on everything I can imagine. I mean, I might start putting it in my iced tea. I mean, that stuff, it's really, in fact, I shared some of it with my son-in-law. I had a little container. I said, hey, Mike, try this and tell me if you like it. I went back to his house, and next he's like, Mr. Tommy, you got to give me some more of that stuff. We're putting it on everything.
It's good. They do a tremendous job, and we're thrilled to have them here. Tremontis.com. Daily luncheon specials. They've got wines, they have spirits, they have beers, they have whatever you need. It's amazing. You've been in there. All the stuff they've got in that establishment, it's kind of remarkable.
Check it out at tremontis.com and the phone number there. Jordy, you and I both grew up in the city of New Orleans, and we're proud of that, and it was a great thing. The Sugar Bowl. I can remember as a kid, that was one of the big events on the calendar. Absolutely. You know, you always had Sugar Bowl, you had Super Bowl if it happened to be that year in New Orleans. You had Jazz Fest, you Mardi Gras. You know, there were certain things that as you grew up in New Orleans were a fixture on the calendar.
You know what I always remember? is they'd have the teams coming down the steps of the plane, and that Dixieland brass band was there playing.
Yeah.
I saw Bear Bryant walk down the steps, and they'd be playing. So great
something
memories.
I remember as I got a little older, where I could hang out in the French Quarter, is walking around and all the fans with their respective team gear, wearing the Georgia Bulldog gear, and the Pitt Panthers were there that one time. Pitt and Georgia played, Bama and Penn State. And, you know, you'd walk around the quarter and you'd see a group from Bama, a group from Penn State, wherever they were coming from. That was always kind of cool, too. And they'd fill up Pat O'Brien's, and both would be doing their cheers. I mean, it was a really cool atmosphere.
Not too long ago, I remember LSU playing Illinois in the Sugar Bowl.
That's the night it snowed.
It was snowed. It was great. I mean, it was packed. It was fabulous. Whipped the heck out of them.
That wasn't even close.
We played Notre Dame.
Whipped them, too.
Whipped them with Charlie Weiss on the sidelines. I was like, he got no shot.
Brady Quinn was quarterback.
Yeah, they got no. Jeff Samardzija was the wide receiver.
I took my son to that game. That was a one-sided game. But like I said, it was such a special thing. It still is. And I know the old-time folks in New Orleans, like you and I, can remember, you know, it being such a special thing. And back then, but when we were younger, Jordy, you didn't have the internet, so you learned about the two teams that were coming. You didn't know all their players. You didn't know their assistant coach or the coordinator. So you learned about that school. You learned about that team. And then, you know, they descended upon
and a lot of people from New Orleans would go watch it.
Practice at Tulane. Yep. Always. One of them would be at Tulane. The other one would be at Tad Gormley or at a high school field. I mean, and I can remember trying to get out to practice, and man, that's the Oklahoma Sooners or whatever, you know.
That's right.
But anyway, we got one of these hype videos. That's the new chic thing now. All these schools and teams and conferences put out the hype videos. Well, we got one for you. Keep in mind, Auburn and Oklahoma played in the Sugar Bowl in the old Tulane Stadium in the early 70s. Nice article by Ken Trahan at SportsNola.com about that game some 40-plus years ago. Here's a little hype for you folks in New Orleans and maybe you folks who are traveling in to watch Auburn and Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. All right, that'll take place Monday night down in the Superdome.
Go with next year's Heisman Trophy winner, Baker Mayfield. Go with the quarterback of the Sooners.
I think Oklahoma
in a
wins.
rout.
And here's the thing. I don't know Bob Stoops, but one thing I do know about him, he finds great joy in beating a team from the SEC.
Big game
You know, he's made his comments over the years when people were saying it's the best conference, this, that, and the other.
Next year's
Of course, he
Heisman
lost
winner.
a national title to LSU, 03 in this same Superdome. But you were at that one.
Yep.
And so I think Bob Stoops in Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield's incredible. He really, really is. And I just think that
with the
it's
best
going to be an
quarterback.
Oklahoma kind of thing. Auburn, although they hit a hot streak during the season, I don't think they're as good as their record.
No quarterback.
And
Did they get that Petway kid back? The big bruising running back? He's good.
I am not sure the answer to that.
I think he is back.
Hopefully some fans show up. We heard Ronnie mention that the ticket sales weren't that brisk. That doesn't surprise me.
Not
but,
at all.
You know, let's hope the Dome gets a bunch
And
of people
you
in.
know
Not
how-
a far trip for Auburn. I mean, they're carpooling in from Auburn.
Yeah.
You know, Oklahoma, you know, they've been in New Orleans before. They know the drill.
You know how you know when tickets aren't being sold? Because whenever they are sold, you get a press release. LSU sold out all their tickets. Did that happen?
I'm on
I hadn't gotten one of those.
I'm on that list.
I hadn't
just
gotten
hadn't
gotten that email.
Yeah, and
yet.
I don't think many schools have sent out a "we're sold out" press release.
Just imagine, and I know we've talked about this. I know we have to go to break.
No,
but,
we're good.
But just imagine these 4 teams in the Final Four, the fan base, the amount of money that they are spending, the true Bluers to go to. And look, Bama's gone to, and Alabama's lucked out. They did them a favor. Atlanta's drivable.
Very drivable.
Very drivable from Tuscaloosa. I mean, Ohio State, you see the plane they were in to fly out to Phoenix?
That looked better than some
Did you
NBA
see that?
planes.
Oh.
That looked like a Mark Cuban plane.
Oh.
Did Cuban send that plane to
No,
him?
look, Cuban's plane is all right. Hornets used to fly in a really nice jet, their own bird. It was great. But, man, this was double-decker. It was
Everything was a
unbelievable.
lounge chair.
But can you imagine the dollars these people have to spend?
And then if your team wins
Then you gotta go to
Saturday,
Tampa.
You got to go to Tampa.
They all went to conference championship games.
No, Ohio State
Ohio
didn't.
State didn't, but everybody else did. And now they got to go to this. And then, oh, man.
See, Ohio State fans have an advantage. They didn't have to spend money for a champ. They didn't have to go to Indianapolis.
That's why they should lose. Come on, Clemson.
They shouldn't even be there.
Come on, Clemson.
That's a story for another day. Again, I think.
Come on, Clemson.
I think Bama wins comfortably over Washington, probably covers the big spread, and I think Clemson wins a close one against Ohio State, and we end up with a rematch.
Would Saban rather play Clemson, or would he rather face Urban Meyer
He'd
again?
rather play Ohio State. Because Clemson, that game last year, Clemson's got unfinished business, and you know Dabo Swinney.
But here's the deal:
Dabo Swinney knows as much about Saban as probably Urban Meyer.
But here's the deal:
but Clemson's got the kind of quarterback that beats Alabama.
Alabama beat them last year. We all know that. This year's Alabama team, I firmly believe, is better than last year's Alabama team. Clemson's team this year is not as good as last year's Clemson, particularly defensively.
You look at the quarterbacks that have beaten Alabama in the last handful of years. Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, Chad Kelly. You know, these guys that can move around a little bit. Cardell Jones, when he was at Ohio State, didn't move a whole lot, but he could move. And he ran the ball effectively that night. You know, Deshaun Watson and Clemson. We're getting a little bit ahead here because they might both lose.
They might both.
But Deshaun Watson is the kind of quarterback that in history, recent history, has given Alabama trouble.
He gave them fits last year in the championship game.
I mean,
Total
if
fits.
it's not for that onside kick, that was the game
Total
separator.
fits. So, but again, there's a game to play before that game. So we'll see if both teams make it.
We
We'll
may
see.
have got a little bit ahead of
We
things
may
there.
see.
Tell you what, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and have a whole lot more of Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Kreis, and thank you for watching. We'll be right back with more. Don't go anywhere here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Plus Benefits has an important message for all uninsured Americans. It's official. Health reform has now become law. Now, uninsured Americans can finally get the health coverage they need with significant prescription benefits. Have you been uninsured, denied coverage, or struggling to pay your health insurance? Well, not anymore. Now there's affordable options with real benefits for people just like you. We know health insurance cost and being denied coverage due to pre-existing conditions has created serious hardships for many Americans. But that's a thing of the past. If you're uninsured, struggling to afford, or have been denied health insurance, pick up the phone and call now. The call is free. and every caller will receive a free discount prescription savings card. Call Plus Benefits Health Insurance Helpline today and get the health insurance and prescription coverage you need. One call can change your life for the better.
Please call 800-351-1511. That is 800-351-1511.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
We continue with Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV. We remind you the original airing each week's Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Replays on the Pelican. Friday night at 7, Saturday mornings at 10. Fridays at 5 p.m. on WHNO TV channel 20 out of New Orleans, which reaches the Thibodaux, Houma area, as well as the North Shore, Slidell on over to Covington. And then ETEL cable system Friday and Saturday afternoons at 2 p.m. Ascension Parish and parts of Livingston Parish. So appreciate you watching Tigers Roar, spreading the roar. Come Thursday morning, mid-morning, it'll be up on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast. And again, don't forget to find us on Facebook, Twitter, the whole bit down there.
It's all there on the bottom of the screen, right?
It's all right there.
It's fancy stuff there.
PelicanSportsTV.com. Jordy, let's shift gears. The New Orleans Saints.
Hey, trying to get to 8-8.
No playoffs for the Saints. We do know that.
Should they tank and get a better draft pick?
I don't think 7-9, 8-8 is that much of a difference. I think you should try to win the game. One, it's a good Falcon team who has a lot to play for. They're trying to be the number 2 seed and have that bye and then a home game. But if the Saints can win a couple of things, that's 3 in a row to close out. That's an 8-8 record, which not a winning record, but not a losing record, and maybe something to build on in the offseason. Wait and see. The Saints have looked good the last couple of weeks. They beat Tampa last week. Tampa had a lot to play for. And now they've backed themselves in a corner. They need 8 different things to happen for them to make the playoffs, and the odds are that ain't
Green
working.
Bay's in. They're in.
So, but I'm saying that the Saints, too little, too late, but have looked good as of late against an okay Arizona team and a good Tampa team.
I firmly believe the Saints are not that far away from being a contender in their own division. They just got to get they got to strike it rich with their draft picks. They're going to have lots of money now for free agency, and they've got to get a couple of talented players that want to come down and play in New Orleans. And I don't think they're that far off.
Well,
I really
Michael
don't.
Thomas, the wide receiver from Ohio State, has been
Terrific.
tremendous.
Terrific.
They hit on that one, but you're right. They missed on some more free agents. You know, you're right. They're not that far away from the NFC South.
That's
they're
all
far
it
away
takes.
from the Cowboys. They're far away from the Patriots. But they're not far away from the NFC South,
I
albeit
firmly
the
believe
Falcons
that.
are ruling the roost now, pardon the pun there. We got some comments from Drew Brees and a couple of folks about the win over the Tampa Bay Bucks in the home finale in the Superdome. Here's some New Orleans Saints stuff for you. Enjoy.
You know, I'm lucky to have been a part of every one of those. It's been a lot of players that were a part of those. A lot of you know, we've got a lot of coaches in that locker room that have been a part of every one of those as well too. I think it speaks to the program that he has built here. And the amount of trust and confidence that everyone has in him, from Mr. Benson to Mickey to the coaches to the players. And we've got a formula here that works. And you know, we've had some great seasons, some great moments. We've had some tough times and some tough circumstances as well. But I always feel like we have the ability to overcome because of the program, the system that Sean Payton has put in place, and the fact that we all trust that and have so much confidence in that and in him. And you know, we know each and every week he's going to put us in the best position to succeed. And we love him for that.
In their matchup from a couple weeks ago?
We just didn't tackle today. Defensively, we didn't tackle. They changed their scheme up a little bit, but they do what they do. We just didn't tackle today.
And now just the way that we move forward into the last game, what you guys are going to take away from this and the attitude and mindset going forward?
Yeah, next game, we lost. But we're going home. And got another division opponent coming in, and got a chance to finish strong. So got to move forward. And tomorrow's Christmas, so go home, enjoy our families, and get back to work Monday.
You mentioned the tackling. Do you think that contributed to the extra yards they were getting on those runs?
Yeah, because they would run the ball very well today, which they schemed well, but we just misfits, not tackling, and then put them in great position on third down. We couldn't get them in third and longs, and you put number 9 in third and shorts, he gonna make you pay. So we just didn't do well enough on first, second down.
Good. Go. The ball over twice, he turned it over 0. That's just how the game goes in the NFL. So we're gonna bounce back, fix the things that we messed up, eliminate the negatives and build on the positives.
What kind of positives are you looking to build on in this game?
Just the rhythm that we had in those drives that we did score. We were looking good. We have to be consistent at that and stay true to that.
Jim, so a year ago you guys
and God willing, we get a playoff chance. We would love that, but the main thing is to focus, finish the season strong, hold nothing back. We have nothing to lose. We're out there playing for our life, so we got to go out there and compete and play a great Carolina team.
And if you guys do win next week, regardless of what happens with the playoffs, it would be your first winning season in Tampa since 2010. Is that something that's kind of crossed your mind at all?
Not at all, man. I want to make the playoffs. That's my ultimate goal, is to win the Super Bowl. Trying to get away from that standard of just being okay. We want to be great, and that's why, I didn't play great tonight, but I'm going to keep working my tail off. They keep helping my team get better.
So that was a nice win by the Saints over a Bucs team that had a bunch to play for, and final game in the Dome.
Did they announce the crowd? I have no idea.
It was not full. It was not full. It had more people there than I thought they would, but it was not full Christmas Eve, 3:25 kickoff. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to remind you about the radio station WUBR, and it's time to talk some hoops. We'll take a look at the women's basketball record, the men's basketball record, and we'll get Jordy Pelicans to talk about the Johnny Jones's team that begins conference play this week against Vanderbilt. 8-3 in the non-conference. We'll get into some Tiger hoops when we return after this pause on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at pelicansportstv.com. Stay with us.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Perkins Road Veterinary Hospital is a full-service veterinary hospital committed to your pet's health. We offer advanced diagnostic and therapeutic medical services, laser surgery, dog and cat diets, and treats, along with stress-free boarding. Dr. Ritchie sees patients for routine checkups to keep your loved ones happy, also advanced medical and surgical cases. We have separate condos for cat boarding and large climate-controlled canine boarding. Our boarding dogs get to have fun in a very large play yard several times a day. Laser therapy is a service that we offer to heal wounds and help our patients that suffer from chronic pain. Laser therapy is a wonderful adjunct treatment for neurologic and arthritic pain with no side effects. Your pets are family members and deserve the best and highest quality of care. Dr. Ritchie and his staff greatly respect the human-animal bond and are committed to exceeding your expectations.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. Beautiful views of Cypress Lake. 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments are available. Stop by and see Cypress Lake Apartments. Give them a call at 225-293-6789 or visit online, cypresslake-apartments.net.
Since 1986, the family dental practice of Dr. Farrell Frugier, with state-of-the-art building and technology, and our highly trained staff have been dedicated to providing care and treatment to our patients of all ages. The experience and advanced training in cosmetic and restorative dentistry, TMJ, and treatment of snoring and sleep apnea allows Dr. Frugier to assist you in achieving the best in dental health. Call us today at 225-292-9700 to schedule your initial evaluation because we know how to make you smile.
Sure to tune in to WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge, home of the Jim Rome Show, Monday through Fridays from 11 to 1, and the Jim Rome Sports Minute at 4:58, Monday through Fridays. It's free on the free TuneIn app. Download the app, get it crystal clear 24/7, a great mixture of local and national programming with the likes of Jordy Holberg, Buddy Sanji, myself, Dave Scandaliato, Carlos Brown on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and Louisiana Music Hall of Fame radio through the night, WUBR. That's how you find it on the app. Or if you're at your computer, just tunein.com, WUBR, and you've got it. So check it out. Jordy, tell them about your radio program in the Lafayette market.
2 p.m. on 103.7 FM, The Game. Crystal clear all the way up to the Mississippi River Bridge and all the way up to Lake Charles. So tune in. Check it out.
Lady Tiger basketball in action this week. Nikki Fargas's team a little better in the pre-conference slate than last year. Doesn't have the same amount of injuries, but the Lady Tiger basketball team 10-2 just took care of the Arkansas Little Rock Lady Trojans 69-49. Non-conference game with Alabama State this week, and then on New Year's Day in Starkville to take on Mississippi State. Florida comes to Baton Rouge next week. A good start in Nikki Fargas's 6th year. Hard to believe 6 years, but her 6th year with Lady Tigers basketball.
Good backcourt. Got some newcomers on the interior that have some size and some bulk. And the main thing is this year they're healthy. Because of that, the record speaks for itself.
And Johnny Jones's basketball team, they're 8-3. They went up to Winston-Salem, got whipped by Wake Forest. Wake Forest was up 30 about 5, 6, 7 minutes into the game and never looked back. Tigers go 8-3 in the non-conference slate. There is another non-conference game, that Big 12 SEC Challenge near the end of January. They'll play Texas Tech. But Vanderbilt comes to town this week, Missouri, Mississippi State. Jordy, your read on Johnny Jones's team and LSU.
First off, you look at the SEC schedule. Those are 3 winnable games. They really, really are. You get 2 at home. Missouri's not very good at all. You get to play them up there. So you got a chance to really get out the gate in a great fashion in league play. Look, the 2 best teams on their schedule this year, Wichita State and Wake Forest. They lost both games by 30-something points. Now you can have it glass half full, glass half empty. I'm always the glass half full. You sit back, you evaluate, and look at what you are, and you learn from it. They've had some time now to practice. They get another player coming in Jenkins, who's by all reports would have been the starting point guard if he had been healthy from the get-go. Obviously, defensively, they need some help. They need to change some things up. And I've always been a believer, and I'm not trying to coach. Trust me, I'm not trying to coach. But if you tell your team, look, we're going to full court press, that implants in their mind defense. We're going to defense. We're going to take the game to the other team and make them play the way we want them to play. Maybe it's as simple as that. I don't know. But they've got to get better defensively. They've got talent on the floor. It just seems like when things start going the opposite direction, they don't have that. They don't have that Greg Cook. They don't have that guy that instills fear in your own team because of the way he plays. They have got a bunch of nice guys.
Well, in other words,
got a bunch
if
of nice
you guys had a couple of bad trips on the defensive end, Greg Cook looked at everybody and said, that'll be no more.
That's it.
And it became no more.
That's it. And we weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination because we never won the whole championship. We won some SEC championships and won an SEC tournament. But they got to get somebody out there that leads by example. And to me, the perfect person would be Craig Victor. He's that big guy, but you can't force someone to be that vocal, that enforcer on the court. So they've got to do it collectively. And I think the best thing, and I think Johnny Jones is going to do this, the best way to get your team to listen is when you make a mistake, come sit down next to them.
Now, you mentioned something to me a couple of weeks ago. You thought this team had good chemistry. That's one of those cliche words. They're going to need that going forward. In the SEC men's basketball, we'll remind you again, there's no West Division, there's no East. They put all 14 teams in there, and you get after it. So, that team chemistry that you mentioned, they're going to have it. 3 winnable games to begin the conference slate, 2 of them at home. I mean, you got to be 2-1 coming out of that, if not 3-0, and then you can.
And it gets tougher.
Then it gets tougher.
And it gets tougher. But you got to take advantage of this. And again, you learn from your mistakes. I guarantee you, they had some very tough, demanding practices. Now you're going to have to take that and put it on the floor and make it happen. Make it happen. I mean, defense is about energy and effort. That's all there is. So maybe throw in a zone every now and then. Maybe pick up full court. Maybe pick up 3/4 court. Do something to change the rhythm and the tempo of the game, because what you're doing right now on a consistent basis against the good teams are not working.
And you play defense with your feet. You got to move your feet to play defense. So, all right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to share that Tiger hype video again, a little LSU Louisville for you. We played it earlier in hour number 1. We're going to play for the folks that are catching hour number 2, and then we'll put a wrap on things. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Chrysan, stay with us. We got more of Tigers Roar.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency. We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-552-8621. 800-552-8621.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service.
with complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
What color uniforms are LSU wearing for the Citrus Bowl? I don't even know. I'm not
White
quizzing
jerseys.
you.
White
Going
jerseys.
white, probably?
Yeah.
Louisville in the red or the black, I guess.
Yep.
All right, we did this at the beginning of the program, and it came from LSU. It's their hype video. Again, that's the new thing. That's chic.
You said that word like 10 times during the show now.
Well, that's what everybody does
Hype.
now.
Hype.
They're trying to hype you up. We're going to share it with you, then come
Doug
back.
Oakland does all these, by the way.
Give you our thoughts on the game. Here's a little something to get you ready for the LSU Tigers and the Louisville Cardinals.
It has been said through the ages, without sacrifice, there can be no victory.
We going to battle! Has everybody got that?
Two species at war.
And nobody gets in between us. Everybody got that?
One metal.
Like this, you get bigger. The moment's never too big for us. We bigger than the moment. We're gonna excel in this moment. I know you are.
100 billion trillion planets in the cosmos. And now, two worlds colliding. Only one survives.
Throws this one up for grabs, intercepted, down around the 13-yard line. Trey White, Etley's got him open. A walk-in touchdown. Chark is back. Touchdown, Tigers.
One team, one heartbeat.
Ten o'clock Saturday morning on New Year's Eve. I
Awesome.
think the Tigers win. I think the Tigers cover the point spread. I'll even throw a score at you. You ready? Drum roll. I did good on the scores a few times this year. I'm going to go LSU 33, Louisville 16. What do you think of that prediction?
I love it. I hope it's true. Hope it's accurate.
LSU fans hope it's
I
accurate.
hope it's accurate.
I got to figure 16. Lamar Jackson, he did win the Heisman. You know, I just got to think that they can find some points. But I think Geis, I think Etland to DJ Shark, I think LSU is going to score on Louisville. They've given up a few points in a few spots this year. 33-16 Tigers is what I'm going to go with.
I don't know what I'm going with, to be honest. I just want to
Well,
see
I
LSU
kind of
win.
blindsided you there.
Yeah, I hope LSU wins it. Petrino's good. The quarterback's really good. We haven't faced anybody like him this year.
Jalen Hurts is not bad.
Yeah, this guy's
Jalen
quicker.
Hurts can move.
This guy's quicker.
Yeah, he's quicker. I'll
and
go
more
with that.
elusive. Hurts is more powerful. I understand that. I don't know.
I didn't mean to put you on.
No. I think LSU wins. I have no idea what's the spread. 3?
3. It's been sitting at 3 for a while. And you know,
I'll take LSU to win. How about that?
There you go.
How about that?
Would it be
LSU
more than 3?
I'll take LSU to win. I don't know. I have no idea.
Ed Orgeron, those players, they want a W. They don't care if they win 3-0.
Please win.
21-20.
Can you imagine this town if they get beat?
If LSU loses, it's not going to be a fun time between then and National Signing Day, which is Wednesday, February.
That'll start all those naysayers. I told you so. I told you so.
There will be a Gridiron Club bash.
Again, really? Seriously?
At the Atrium at the Bella Baton Rouge, going back downtown. We'll have more information for that in the coming weeks. Don't forget, next week, Buddy Sanji's here. We'll have a combo post-game Tigers Roar recruiting update for you.
I get the night off.
You get the night off. You can go bounce the basketball somewhere or whatever the heck you want to do on a night off. So
I go watch the Pelicans play.
We want to thank Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, for joining us. Ronnie Rance from Sports Shorts Radio and Sports Shorts TV also for joining us. Most importantly, we want to thank you for watching, for you spreading the Roar, you telling folks about it, whether you're catching it on the Wednesday, you're catching a rebroadcast, or you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate it. Takes a lot of people around here to make this show happen. Jordy and I get to sit up here and run our heads, but a lot of people put in a lot of hard work, and we appreciate that. Happy New Year to everyone. Many folks can't wait for 2016 to get over with. So Happy New Year. On behalf of Jordy Hultberg, the entire crew, I'm Tommy Christ saying you've been watching Tigers Roar.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency. We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-552-8621. 800-552-8621.